Greetings, colleagues. Do you sometimes struggle trying to express yourself or when trying to understand the other person? Do you conduct business in English? Talk to clients or colleagues or potential customers in English? Are you interested in learning business English expressions and understanding common business phrases? Then let's level up your business English by mastering these 53 common expressions. This is part 4. All right, so we're going to go through 53 different common expressions that are often used in business English.
Robbie, as well-intentioned as Bill's remarks are, I'm hoping we can keep this between us until we all get on the same page.
On the same page. So if we're on the same page, we're thinking along the same lines. We are together, we're of one mind. I think of actors maybe preparing for a play or a scene, and maybe they're not really following what the other one is doing. One of them says, "Hey, what page are you on?" "Oh, I'm on page 22." 22, "I'm on page 32." "Okay, let's both go to page 25." And then they start again. Okay, now we're on the same page. We understand what each other is talking about. How do we use it in the modern, business context? Gee, I knew from the moment I met her that we were on the same page. We were on the same wavelength. We think alike. We think similarly. We're on the same page. I've got no problem with her. I can work with her.
That's a lot of pain points.
Pain point. So often in sales or marketing, this comes up a lot. If we're going to market to someone specifically or to a class of people, we need to identify their pain point. What struggle do they have? What point of pain? What causes them discomfort, pain that we can kind of talk about and solve for them. Ideally, we're taking their pain and alleviating it, making the pain go away. So if you can identify what a potential customer, potential client's pain is, then you want to explain to them, "Hey, I know you have this pain. I can solve that. Hire me and that pain goes away." So that can be a very effective sales or marketing strategy. Pencil it in. Let's definitely meet next week. I'm not sure what my schedule is, but what about on Tuesday, at lunchtime? Can we pencil that in? Yeah, I'll pencil that in. We can pencil it in. Now, this is saying that I'm making a commitment, but it's not a firm commitment. I might call you on Monday. Yeah, I can't meet on Tuesday. We'll push it back and we'll meet on Thursday at lunch instead. But if we pencil it in, we're marking it, we're putting it on the calendar, but with the idea that it might have to change. I might have something, maybe more important that I can't move. So I'll ask to move our meeting, our lunchtime, or our whatever our get together is, because we just penciled this in. A pencil, it is easy to erase. If it's in ink, you usually can't erase it. So if we put it in pencil, if we need to change it, we can erase it and move it somewhere else.
Now, Stephen, you got to be proactive, okay?
Proactive. So proactive, it's a great word to use. It means that you're actually doing something. Gee, I heard my client maybe upset with us or is not happy with our service. So I reached out to them. I called them and set up a meeting. I'm going to meet with them this afternoon and find out what's wrong and come up with a plan to fix it. I don't want them to fire us. I don't want them to cancel our contract. I'm going to be proactive and solve this as quickly as I can. Versus reactive. Well, I've heard that my client, isn't really happy, but he didn't call me. He hasn't canceled anything, so I'm not going to do anything. I'll wait for them to call me, maybe wait for them to cancel, then I'll get into reactive mode. Wait, why are you canceling this contract? Let's meet, let's talk about it. What can I do to solve this? That would be more reactive. And certainly some businesses or some individuals, some people, we generally are more effective if we are going to be proactive. If we're only reactive, We don't control our calendar because we have to react. Well, gee, I got a complaint this morning, or I found out I have to do this for tomorrow. All of our time is spent just reacting to what's going on. Then that means we don't have time to really get ahead or plan ahead, do things, for the bigger picture because we're just reacting to, little fires and trying to put them out. So, it's normally not good to just be reactive.
Don't play stupid. You can't pull it off.
Pull it off. So pull it off means to do something successfully. Usually something that, people didn't think you would be able to do. You had 5 sales calls today and you sold each customer. You were able to pull off 5 sales in one day. That's amazing. I can't believe you pulled it off. Or you got the boss to agree to give you next week off. Wow, usually he doesn't let anyone take vacation unless they plan for it, a couple of months in advance. I can't believe that you pulled it off, that you got him to say yes.
Well, we've not time to recap, I'm afraid.
A quick recap. So a quick recap, this is somewhat similar to in a nutshell, but this is more specific that we're explaining what happened. A recap, we're explaining what happened. A quick recap, it's going to be a short one. What happened today? Just give me a quick recap. I don't want to hear everything, word for word, or, I don't need every detail. Just give me the quick recap.
But don't you think it's time to raise the bar a little? Huh?
Raise the bar. So to raise the bar, if we think of an imaginary bar that's going across, gee, this is what is acceptable or this is what's normal. So if you raise the bar, then wow, you did a much better job. I didn't think my whatever would be able to do that much for me. It would be that helpful, would be that effective. You really raised the bar. Which is good to hear, but it also means in the future they're going to expect a lot from you as well. But that should be a good sign, right? You want to raise the bar, do better than expected. And it could be for you individually, like, wow, I didn't expect him to do so well. He raised the bar for himself. Or, oh, wow, this was the best blank whatever. They really raised the bar. I'm not going to go to anybody else. I'm only going to go to this one. They really raised the bar. Now, think about the opposite. If we have someone who raised the bar, we might have someone else who lowered the bar. Wow, he was terrible. He really lowered the bar. Meaning, he was so bad, that my expectations were here, but he lowered the bar. Now when I hire somebody else, maybe my expectations are going to be much lower. I'm not going to expect as much because, this guy did such a bad job. He lowered the bar. So this is usually not a compliment. This would be something negative.
I ran America's largest, most affordable, successful, value-driven retailer.
Retail or retailer. A retailer is a company, we could use it as a person as well, but a company that sells products to the end user, to the consumer. A store is a retailer. They sell things to the user, whether it's a clothes store, a computer store, whatever it is. Whoever buys it from that retailer is going to use it themselves. There may be some exceptions, someone buys it and they give it to their husband, their wife, their friend, whatever, but it's going to the person that's going to use it. That is retail, the distribution point to the consumer. So we could use this in a sentence such as, oh, he works in retail, or she's a retailer, she sells, whatever it is.
They're agents. They're going to New York to see a wholesaler.
First class.
Retailer, I don't think it really has an opposite, but if we think of the supply chain, what would be before the retailer? That would be wholesale or wholesaler. So the wholesaler, buys it maybe from the factory or maybe from a distributor, but, will buy a lot of it in bulk and then sell it to different retailers. So a wholesaler could also be called a distributor, but they're buying it in bulk and then also selling it in bulk. So if you can buy something wholesale, it's usually going to be much more inexpensive than retail, but they usually don't sell to individuals. They don't want to sell one dress. They want to sell 1,000 dresses. They're not selling one computer. They're selling 1,000 computers. So, he deals in wholesale. He's selling to retailers in buying from factories or other distributors.
In 3 years, Cyberdyne will become the largest supplier of military computer systems.
Supplier. A supplier is someone or a company that supplies another, usually company. If you think about a restaurant, they probably have many suppliers. Maybe there's a bread supplier. Every day they have a certain amount of bread is delivered. Maybe they have a fruit and vegetable supplier or a meat supplier or a beer supplier, drink supplier. And they probably make regular deliveries, maybe daily, maybe weekly, depends on the demand and depends on what they're delivering. But they regularly supply this company, this restaurant. If you enjoyed this video, please conquer that like button and make it ours. Work hard today and enjoy tomorrow.